Hi there everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to cover up story number. It's basically the last story of Flamingo, Going Places. Uh, let's not waste time in the number of story and all that. This is basically the last chapter of Flamingo, Going Places by A.R Barton. Now, my dear students, one thing I would like to make clear to you that while you are studying, making preparations for exams, please do not ignore this. By this, I mean that while you are preparing for your examinations, besides extra aid, help, support, and what all things you do to score better, it's very important for you to understand that all these NCERT books should be your main chief concern. Whatever information is given in these books is really important. I keep on telling this in the class also, and here also I am repeating it. So over to Going Places, which is a beautiful story which explores the theme of adolescence fantasizing. Now the question is, what is adolescent fantasizing, as it's been mentioned over here? All of us, we have to pass through various stages in life. As last year in class 11 we read Father to Son, Childhood, and so many other poems which explore childhood and which tell us about teenage. So basically, teenage is an age where a person is neither considered as matured nor a child. So this is basically adolescence. So this is a pretty beautiful stage. Now, Going Places captures the world of teenagers. It explores the world of adolescence. And what are the things which are common in the world of teenagers? Tell me, you would be knowing it better than me. Imagination, daydreaming, hero worship, love, affection, all that. But I would like to tell you that these things are all quite useful if it is all done in limits. But if we imagine a bit too much, as it happens many of the times with teenagers, that their imagination wanders from one place to another and it goes a little too far, then it creates chaos in their life. So this is what the story is trying to explore. The title is appropriate, Going Places. Imagination has no bounds, no limits, so it wanders from one place to another boundless. And so we are free to imagine whatever we want to, whatever we sort of think of imagining. So over to the characters. The main character in the story Going Places is Sophie, who is a teenager. Jancy, her friend. The story starts when Sophie and Jancy, they are returning back from school. We are introduced briefly to Sophie, who is a middle class girl. She lives in the world of dreams. She's a teenager and she is a daydreamer. She's kind of not very comfortable in accepting the reality that she's a middle class girl. So after passing school, probably she would have to work to support her family, which is very well understood by Jancy, who is a practical, logical character. So here, comparison of Sophie and Jancy, two teenage girls, is deliberately given to us just to tell us that not all the teenagers live in the world of fantasies, imagination, and dreams. So the discussion takes place between Sophie and Jancy, where Jancy tries to tell Sophie that she should come out of her world of dreams and she should face reality. And what's the reality? The reality is a bit harsh, that she's a middle class girl and she should work hard. She should be concentrating in the studies more, because girls like them, they were earmarked. Probably their future was decided that they would have to work to support their families after passing missing school. But what about Sophie? Sophie would like to do something glamorous. By that she means that she would like to be an actress, she would like to be a model, she would like to do something, maybe she would have a boutique or so. These are all glamorous professions. So this feeling to be famous, to be well known, to do something extraordinary is very commonly found in teenagers. So same is there with Sophie. But she fails to realize that in order to fulfill our dreams, we have to work hard. And if we waste our entire time in imagining things which are of no use perhaps, then working hard would not be possible, because in order to work hard, we need to concentrate to study, which Sophie would not be doing. So finally, Sophie's house comes and she reaches her house, and Jancy takes her away. We are introduced to Sophie's father, a typical middle class man who is sitting, her brother, younger brother Derek, who has very small role. He just says that Sophie is such a person who thinks that money grows on trees. And after that, we are introduced to her mother. Not exactly introduced, we are told about Sophie's mother, who is all the time preparing meal for the family, working very hard, washing utensils, working very hard for the family. So this middle class environment doesn't please Sophie too much, because as I told you initially that she is a daydreamer. She's not comfortable in accepting the reality that they were middle class people and they would have to struggle in order to fulfill their dreams. Now the next character in the story is Jeff, Sophie's elder brother, who is a teenager like her. But there is a difference between Sophie and Jeff. Jeff is not a daydreamer like her. He is a motor mechanic. He's pretty good looking. He doesn't live in the world of dreams. He works to support his family. He has completed his school education. There are unknown places. There are unknown people Jeff is meeting, and Sophie is really curious to meet all these people, but her father does not allow that. Now, fantasizing, imagination is something very, very important in this story, because Sophie's world is full of imagination. So now, first imaginary thing which Sophie thinks of is that once perhaps it is going to happen in future that Jeff and herself, they both would be celebrities perhaps. Jeff would be riding a wonderful motorbike and she would be sitting next to him, and the people of the world will be greeting them. They would be waiting for them as they wait for celebrities. Now, as far as the profession of Jeff is concerned, he's a motor mechanic. He's basically an apprentice. So he's not working on a very high position. Whatever he earns, he uses it to support his family. Now, after that, we are introduced to something strange. Sophie tells her brother Jeff that she met Danny Casey. Now the question is, who is Danny Casey? Danny Casey is a young Irish footballer, the young Irish prodigy, a young person who is rich and famous, a famous footballer. And as it is very common with teenagers to nurture some sort of fascination for celebrities, so it happens with Sophie also. Her whole family, they are football lovers. They go to the stadium to watch football matches, and Sophie also goes along with them to watch these football matches. She hasn't met Danny Casey ever in reality. Yes, of course, if she's going to the stadium, she has seen him play, but she has never met him in reality. But what is she trying to make the world believe? That she saw Danny Casey first in the arcade, first in the marketplace, and somehow a conversation started between the two, and then he asked her out and she could not say no. Something which is beyond the understanding of Jeff is, why would Danny Casey be asking Sophie to come out with him. He's, after all, such a famous footballer, rich person, a rich young person. But Sophie makes him believe. The only person in the story who knows the character of Sophie truly is her father. Okay? So the moment their father comes to know about Sophie meeting Danny Casey, he tells that this is all imagination, her wild fantasies. Now the story proceeds further, but Jeff somehow believes this. I would like to tell you. Now the story proceeds further. Sophie continues living in the world of fantasies, daydreaming. Now what happens is that Jeff, her elder brother, uh, talks about Sophie's meeting Danny Casey to one of his friend Frank. And Frank is a common friend, so he tells this thing to Jancy. And Jancy is overexcited because they are all young people and they enjoy watching the game of Danny Casey. And it's very difficult for Sophie to come out of the situation because Jancy starts asking her so many questions that I've heard that you met Danny Casey and all that. But it is something great that Jeff does not tell Frank that her sister is also dating Danny Casey. Again, I would like to tell you, students, that nothing of this sort is happening in reality. This is all Sophie's imagination because Danny Casey is a famous footballer. And how could he be going out with Sophie? Or maybe if he would be ever going out with her, this is something which is slightly not possible. And it's in this story also, even though Sophie tries to explain things to her brother as if she has really met Danny Casey, as if she's really going out with him, but this does not happen. She's living in the world of fantasies. Fantasizing is something beautiful, but over fantasizing is a waste of time, which Sophie does not understand. So, with great difficulty, Sophie makes Jancy understand that yes, she has met Danny Casey, but she should not be telling this to people because her father would be getting angry with her. And the story proceeds further. We come to know that the family, Sophie's family, as they go to watch the game of Casey on Sundays, so again they go to the stadium to watch his match. It's like a pilgrimage for them. We come to know that the family is not quite well off economically. They are slightly backward, middle class family, as I have said. And we find evidences in the story. We have come to know about Sophie's mother. We have come to know about Jeff. We have come to know about Sophie's father, who has to work very hard. In the evening, he looks quite tired. And we also come to know later on that when the team, the United, for which Danny Casey plays, when it wins, then Sophie's family, they are elated, they are quite happy, and the father goes to the pub to celebrate. Okay? And what's with Sophie? Sophie is lost in the world of her dreams. She go to a solitary place, imagines that Danny Casey would be coming over to meet her, but he never comes. She has a painful realization at that time that she has wasted lots of time in the world of imagination. And she has even fooled her brother Jeff. She has even told this thing to Jancy. These are all the people who care for her, love her. She has wasted so much of time in daydreaming. This realization comes to her. She comes back. While she's coming back outside the pub, her father's bicycle is there. So again, which is an example which tells us that they are not very much well off. So they belong to, economically they are slightly low, and she keeps on moving and she's again lost in the world of imagination. The ending of the story tells us she could not see. I mean, in the world of imagination, she could see Danny Casey playing over in the stadium, and there is a wild applause. Everyone is excited, and as he makes the goal, and people are ecstatic, she's also very happy. And the story ends and gives us a wonderful lesson. What's the wonderful lesson? That is, we should be indulging in imagination, but too much of it is something wrong. Because if you remember, I told you in my tutorial of elementary school classroom in Islam, when I was telling you about that small boy who's sitting in the last seat, who dreams, nurtures dreams. Dreaming is something positive, because whatever we dream of, we work to fulfill that. But it should be in limits. So this is the wonderful lesson given by the story, Going Places. I hope you have understood something or maybe everything. So one thing which I always telling you again, that you need to subscribe here. Press this button to subscribe to my channel, and again I'm telling you to bring forth your doubts. If after all, if you read, then only you will be having doubts. This is something which is very important. Please start studying. Schools are about to open it soon, and I am waiting for your queries. Okay, till then, bye bye. Take care.